Welcome back to Hardball, and for the last and not least of my interview with Senator John McCain, whose new book is called 13 Soldiers. We talked about whether Hillary Clinton would make a good president or not. That's coming up in just a minute, but I began by asking Senator McCain about the hot issue of the week, illegal immigration. Let me ask you about an issue you've been out front on, besides the issue of foreign policy, and you are an internationalist. This question of immigration reform. You were one of the Gang of Eight. You were one of the Republicans who voted for the Senate bill, which I thought had teeth in it.
And
where were you at?
Tried once before, as you might remember.
Well, Simpson-Mazzoli, way back in '86, we had a good bill, but it wasn't enforced. This bill's got teeth in it. I keep telling my liberal audience it's got teeth in it. It says you can't work here legally after 4 years. You got to have an ID card. You have to be who you say you are. What more do you want?
You have to pay thousands of dollars in fees. You have to get in line behind everybody else.
What more does the right want?
I don't know, Chris, except that there is a legitimate concern about border security. And
well, can't that be met?
It can be, and I believe it's done with technology and not so much with personnel. But if we could get 90% effective control of the border and 100% surveillance, which we could, situational awareness, then I think that would ease the path to...
Well, if Obama did that, from his end of the deal, from the progressive and liberal end, and the other side, would they be willing to give on a eventual path to citizenship? Or people have been here 12 years?
I believe that the majority of the members of the House of Representatives would approve a path to citizenship with a secure border and pay back taxes, learn English, get
How about a majority of your caucus on the
everybody
House
else? I really believe that if presented in the way that we can assure people, you referred to Simpson-Mazzoli. The reason why Simpson-Mazzoli failed was because we didn't secure the border.
I know.
And so if we could assure the American people, and no matter how conservative they are, that we have a secure border, I believe they would be really agreeable to moving forward with...
Why can't you be, you ran against it, but why can't you be the interlocutor here? Why can't there be somebody that stands up and says, Mr. President, you're a reasonable man. I think you really do want reform. You're not just here for the issue. And the other side, the Boehner really wants an issue. Why can't they get in the room and hammer it out?
I don't know the answer to that, but I do believe that there's a legitimate question now with the president going to act as to whether he wants a political result or which would help them in the 2016 election or not. My question to the president is, why couldn't you wait and see what this new Congress does? Give them some time, not a deadline, but some time. You'll know whether they're going to be able to move forward or not. You don't have to set a timetable and see then. But obviously, that's not going to be the case. And in my home state, there's deep awareness and concern about border security, okay? But still, 70% of the people in Arizona are for a path to citizenship if we have a secure border. That's their.
I don't understand why grown-ups can't together. I think the Senate did the right thing anyway on this. Let me ask you about 2016. Are you running again?
I'm certainly leaning that way.
I think you're running again. How about this? If you have to choose, because I've seen your office, I think you're like Barry Goldwater's permanent replacement in the United States Senate. Anyway, let me ask you about Hillary Clinton. Would you think she, this is obviously our headline question tonight. By the way, the book is 13 Soldiers. It's a really a good read about our history. And I think it really does talk about the foot soldier, the regular guy out there. And all your resentments about an experience, I think, in Vietnam are really healthy for people to read. Let me ask you about this race. Do you think it's going to be, do you think Hillary's got the competence to be president?
Well, I'm sure that whoever the American people select, I would support that. Do I think that she is good on foreign policy issues? I think this is a legitimate question. Look, it's well known that Hillary Clinton and I have a good relationship. We have.
Well, don't you agree on a lot?
But yeah, we do agree on a lot. But I think it's a legitimate question. If you said, Secretary Clinton, tell me a concrete accomplishment while during your tour as Secretary of State, I think she may have trouble answering that.
You mean a lot of input but not output?
Well, she traveled to a lot of countries. She's a great representative of America, kind of a rock star status. She visited more countries than any other Secretary of State. But what concrete policy or decision or whatever it is was she responsible for? And I think she'd have trouble answering that.
Let me ask you the toughest question maybe of our current period, which is Iran. Last question. Negotiations continue through the 24th, I guess it is, next week. Oh, next week, yeah. And do you think there's any hope for a deal that keeps it from having a weapon or anywhere near a weapon?
I worry very much that the administration wants so badly a foreign policy success that I'm afraid that they may give up, make an agreement that is really bad, including thousands of centrifuges. I'm very, very worried about that.
Do you think Iran is talking while it's building a bomb?
Well, that's been their history. That's been their history throughout. I would like to see it treated for what it really is. It walks like a duck and quacks like a duck. It looks like a treaty. It acts like a treaty. Then the Senate of the United States should debate and ratify or non-ratify.
Thank you very much.
Thanks
for your time, Senator.
Thank you.
Well, John McCain's book is called 13 Soldiers, A Personal History of Americans at War. Again, our thanks to Senator John McCain. Up next, the gang's all here. The Republican Party's big shot governors gather in Florida right now to show up their presidential pedigree. And the big guy, Chris Christie, steals the show. We'll talk about him coming up next. You're watching Hardball, the place for politics.